race appearance since the Spanish Grand Prix in Jerez way back on July the 9th, and Joan Mir on row 3. 2020 Portugal winner Miguel Oliveira goes from the head of row 4. He's 6 as well with Danilo Petrucci, and then Lecco owner Lorenzo Savadori and the battered and bruised riders starting this Portuguese Grand Prix. We're minus the unfortunate Jorge Martin.
The grid ready to...
today for flying Frenchman Fabio Quartararo. Can he make it back-to-back wins? Can Yamaha start a MotoGp 2010? Alex Rins and Johann Zarco, the World Championship leader, on the front row. Jack Miller, Franco Morbidelli, 8th place on the grid for him in MotoGP, ahead of the world champion Joan Mir in 9th. Keep an eye on great race pace yesterday. Miguel Oliveira, of course, our Portimao race winner here 4 months ago.
Delayed a while. Nowhere near as long as it is in Qatar. You still favour a Ducati to get there in front. And if Quartararo can get a brilliant start for him to still lead out front, and that could be a crucial part of the race.
And then that puts pressure on Quartararo and Rins to make something happen, make some risky overtakes. We do know. Seen Fabio Quartararo go for that hard Michelin rear tyre. Let's hear the thoughts on that and some general tyre selection thoughts from...
Some last-minute changes to the hard. Can you tell us what you see happening in the race today, tyre-wise?
Viñales and Morbidelli, they changed to hard rear. So now we have 3 Yamaha, rest with with this medium rear. So we'll see, but both tires...
Piero, thank you and good luck.
Yeah,
Thanks
very much, Simon. Thanks to Piero Tommaso. It's interesting. Earns his first race in 265 days. It was 9 months ago today in MotoGP. It's on the way next. A bold move from Yamaha, Matt.
Yeah, and it looks like as well, Michelin releasing some information getting in the commentary box that they have all switched over to that hard rear tyre. It's going to be all about the start, though, isn't it, for Zarco and Mir on that plunge down the hill into the first corner.
130 beats per minute, but it looks as though we're set to go. Excellent as well, but as we shoot down to turn 1, Rins has it, but here comes Zarco. He leads into turn 1.
Marquez, and he's up to 4th place already, trying to find a way through on Jack Miller into turn 3.
What a start from Joan Mir as well, number 36. Look at him. He's up alongside Pecco Bagnaia. It's Zarco the lead, goes through into 3rd again.
Yeah, and that also cost Miller a place on Mir as well. He had to run out wide onto the dirty part of the track.
6 or 7 corners into the race.
Maverick Viñales had an absolute nightmare. Viñales started 12th. He was...
What an appalling start. Mir up the inside of Marquez.
Yeah,
and there's
there you
contact.
go. That's some early payback for yesterday. Controversially so on Jack Miller last time out in Qatar.
Oh, Rins thought about the move there. Up the inside
from Joan Mir, got himself up brilliantly. He's already recovered 6 places on this opening lap. Good start as well. Start for the Monster Energy Yamahas though. Quartararo on pole. He's going to come over the line 5th or 6th, and Viñales has only got sassy dropped 5 places. That was tight. Pecco Bagnaia trying to recover up some ground on the brakes into the first corner.
He touches the rear wheel there of Joan Mir. Yeah. Just about stays on. That's worked out well for Quartararo.
It really come through. Quartararo himself had a big moment coming out of turn 4.
There is Marc there, and he's dropped back behind, and front wheel on rear wheel. Sometimes that can go horribly wrong.
Yeah, Marquez could easily have gone down there, couldn't he? In 2021, isn't it? After their battle in Q1 yesterday, they've had a couple of contacts already today in this Grand Prix. We're not even.
And Taka Nakagami.
What on earth happened to Maverick Viñales on that 4th row? He's lost 4 seconds on that opening lap.
Towards Zarco, he said he wanted to lead. Oh, there's a move there from Aleix Espargaro, I think, on Marc Marquez. Has that one for place at the front though. Oh, the front end is moving around there for Pramac Ducati rider Johann Zarco.
How good the braking stability of the Suzuki is, but Zarco's just too many yards ahead for him to make a clean move. Pinch that place back into turn 2. You bet he can.
Yeah, they're a couple of proper fighters, aren't they, on Sundays? Morbidelli.
Did well to get through on Marc Marquez when he did. Here's Miller coming from a long way back into turn 5 on Fabio Quartararo. Brief trip into the top 4 for the Aussie.
Zarco can't shrug off this interest from Aldi.
For Suzuki to be in this position early on, 2nd and 3rd on just the 3rd lap of the race, this bodes.
They will not get a better chance of getting 2 men on the podium.
They're not having to use that extra grip of the rear tyre. He's got the inside line. There's not quite enough room for him to take the lead.
That was so close. He's dropped down to 17th behind Rossi and Bastianini.
Viñales is now last. What is going on? He's down in 21st place. A disaster for the Top Gun, who's misfiring big time.
Far to 3rd. Good move from Quartararo on Joan Mir, that.
And already we've seen what we thought would happen if Mir and Quartararo at bay. So far, so good for the World Championship leader.
We got a race on here. We have got a Ducati Suzuki, Yamaha Suzuki Ducati. Marquez is now fallen behind Brad Binder, so Marquez already...
That Desmond Sadici will be able to keep ahead of Alex Rins' Suzuki. Bit of a twitch on the rear tyre for Mir.
Behind Brad Binder, who's made up another place then. Mir thought about a move back on Quartararo, but for now...
Crowd hero Miguel Oliveira at the moment, he's down in 12th place at this stage. Here he goes, Rins tried that on the last lap.
Rins is going to have the corner speed around turn 15, but Zarco's got the speed on the straight.
Sector 4 is where the Suzuki, and you can see Rins there already able to pull out of, what, 2 or 3 bike lengths, but he might get swallowed up now by the straight and that 1 kilometre straight in Losail, but there was nothing that Rins could do. Miller getting a bit erratic.
Miguel Oliveira, he's made a mistake again. He just set the fastest lap of the race and he must have gone
4 bike lengths on Zarco coming through turn 15, and then they crested up the hill, and then before they got the
Repsol Honda rider, I don't know if he's feeling the ill effects of the crash that he had from yesterday.
He was really badly beaten up, wasn't it?
Sure.
Tom Espargaro is an absolute warrior. There's no way after just 5 laps he's going to pull in with any physical problems. Is Espargaro into the pits early doors?
Maverick Vinales is still in 20th place.
Oh, Rins again. That tyre to line, just released the brakes a little bit later than Johan Zarco, so that's twice in 2 laps. That's just marginally offline, and he asked for the power. Rear tyre spun up underneath him. It was just a small move.
Zarco threw on both of them, but Quartararo's having none of it. He stays in 2nd place.
Yeah, this is in that game of dare, the game of chance on the brakes into turn 1. It was won by Rins and Quartararo. Jack Miller crashes out of podium contention, then here in Portimao, pain in Portimao.
Quartararo and fellow Frenchman, the World Championship leader, Johan Zarco. Then it's Mir, Aleix Espargaro, behind Aleix Espargaro here. Wow, that's so peculiar. What happened there?
Race winner from last year, he's dropped down to 15th place. Shout out to Taka Nakagami. Heroic performance at the moment. Not an inch of his body is not without incessant pain, and he's in the point scoring places right now. On that
Someone else
lap,
has gone down.
2.1 seconds slower than Rins.
Is that another bike that's gone down in our ears? I'm sure from here in November.
A dream win 4 months ago to an absolute nightmare then for Miguel Oliveira. Vinales must have some kind of major problem. He's 2 seconds away from the race leading pace.
Of course, factory Ducati hopes now have just pinned on his shoulders after the crash of Jack Miller.
Have already exited stage left very early on here. Oliveira the race winner and Jack Miller second in the port.
Something must be going wrong because the lap before that he was doing a...
Now Vinales has got down to a 41 flat, which is still a second away from where he needs to be.
Quartararo, Joan Mir and Johan Zarco. Mir is closing on the grid. He's still in the top 10.
Gaining some gold experience there, isn't he? The rookie. Great job by him.
Around turn 15 we go. Fabio Quartararo looks a bit closer again to Alex Rins. Now comes through naturally on the straight past Mir into 3rd.
Yeah, he's having to work really hard, isn't he, Zarco, to try and run the pace. And 1.
Oh, Rins is really wide, and now they're side by side. Luckily, he's got the inside line for turn. He's now warming into things. He's got the heat in that hard tyre. If he gets to the front, he could have a chance to break away.
Racing is the old cliche. Brad Binder's taken 6th place from Aleix Espargaro. We said he was a stunt by him. He's come from 15th.
What a rider Brad Binder is. It is unbelievable, isn't he? Aleix then has dropped to 8th. Marc Marquez 9th. Further back, Alex Marquez is 11th. Ross. We're on board here with Fabio Quartararo, who was putting in 139s from that again.
8 laps in the 139 bracket yesterday for Fabio Quartararo in that crucial FP4 session. No Rins dropping down the hill into the braking zone for the first corner.
Here he goes
for it. Yeah, he's got the move done. He's got the
content there, Fabio Quartararo, but you have to admire the way he's gone about his business here. He didn't panic after the rough start.
He got his head down and did those 4 155 ones in succession. Broke the Ducatis behind it from the Suzukis of Rins and Mir.
Yeah, watch the start here for Quartararo. Initially, actually, as the lights go out, not a bad start. The Yamaha, oh, there's almost contact there between him and Rins. Immediately, he's beaten by 2 Ducatis. Marc
start that he wanted. Look at that, yeah, there was definite contact there between Quartararo and Rins launching off.
He didn't panic. He knows he's got the speed underneath him, Quartararo. He was helped a little by
7, 8, 9 bike lengths on the Spaniard already. This is just the way he executed that brilliant perfection right now for Quartararo.
Yeah, across the line. This will be a 39, surely it is.
That's what we just mentioned, but he's doing exactly what he did in Doha. Get to the front, get your head down and try and clear off. A real strong ride actually was Jack Miller, quickest in this morning's warm-up session, in podium contention when he had a rather...
This is Marc Marquez. That's how the championship would look. Fabio Quartararo would take the lead from Joan Zarco as things...
I don't know if he touched the throttle or it was like the rear pushed the front let go. Just went up the moment because he's so clever at not giving the tyres a hard time. 100% sure he's doing that, but that's what I'm waiting to see if he does.
Yeah, thanks for that, Simon. As so often last front.
The Suzukis all weekend have been brilliant in Sector 3, where you need that agility, that manoeuvrability and a bit of turning speed. Quartararo has been untouchable in this fourth sector. He's been really, really strong. And again, look at the gap he's able to... Personal best lap of the race, a 1:40.069. It was only 300ths quicker than Quartararo ahead of...
For the South African Brad Binder, who somehow, despite having shown no pace to be...
Right on podium pace as well are the men in 7th and 8th, Bagnaia and Aleix Espargaro. They've just exchanged 40.
Down by Bagnaia, as Matt just mentioned, getting into his rhythm. At the front, though, the Suzuki's Qatar, as to whether or not the Yamaha could put in a performance similar to that once we got back into Europe. I think the question's been...
I still don't think he's done a lap in the 140, Steve. It's another 141 low from Viñales. It's been an unmitigated... His factory Yamaha teammate Fabio Quartararo leading this Portuguese Grand Prix.
To charge. Is it time to wind things back? He's got full heat now into that hard rear tyre. Sector 4
corner speed with the Suzuki's no mug, is it, in terms of corner speed? Quartararo then again dips down into those high, and that's the best lap of the race so far. 4/10 he is now, eked out ahead of Alex Rins. Academy colleague Franco Morbidelli. It's been a real good charge through the pack by Bagnaia. Quite a bit of time lap record at the end of Q2 yesterday, wiped out for the yellow flag infringement. Of course, the big crumbs.
Interesting for Aleix Espargaro, Matt. The same sort of situation as Qatar, where in the early laps...
Just struggling to go at the moment with Quartararo and Rins ahead of him. There's nothing between their lap times, but you can throw over a second for the first time.
Quartararo still has some bother here from us.
The Suzuki so gentle on its tyres, and Alex Rins has got the finesse, hasn't he? He's not an aggressive rider. It's like be really, really strong in terms of tyre management as well. This man's not bad when it comes to that job as well. Yeah, we need to keep an eye on. It's the Italian Pecco Bagnaia, who had good pace all weekend in terms of race for this position.
I think you're right about Joan Mir as well, Matt. He's just coming under a bit of attack again now from...
It was a big one. Mir a 40.3, Rins a 39.7, so 6/10 the gap.
Well, but
look how much he's been able to gap Binder and Aleix Espargaro, Steve, once he got through on the KTM.
Great onboard shots of this undulating circuit in Portugal. On board here with the Suzuki of Alex Rins looking up to
lap times at the moment. 1:40.4 over the line last time for the Doctor. Well, that was only a 10th slower.
In terms of race pace there, because yesterday he couldn't get into anywhere near the mid-140s.
They've obviously found the...
In we go. There will be 12 laps to go. We've reached the halfway point of this race in Portugal.
Yeah, quite clear. Joan Mir's going to have his hands full hanging on to that podium finish. He's the first MotoGP world champion since the late great Nicky Hayden back in 2007. He won't want to make it 3 in a row.
Ferrari, he was just missing that little bit of experience. Last year didn't go to plan, but this is a turbocharged.
The better endurance, having plumped on the grid late on for the hard rear compound. Weekend, Michelin did say if the track goes over 35 degrees, then the hard rear tyre certainly does come
behind Valentino Rossi.
Well, he's lapping at the same pace as his teammate Alex Marquez. He's a little bit further up the road.
Team principal keeping an eye on Joan Zarco, the championship leader. He won't be the championship leader as things stand.
Credit to Zarco. He got himself into the high 139s on that last lap himself. 39.8 here on the start-finish straight. You bet he can. There's your answer. And it's a fairly emphatic one, isn't it? Quartararo and Rins yet 9.654 for Quartararo, immediately bettered with a 39.598 from Rins. Having to work so hard in the twisty sections of Portimao just to try and keep that position. And Zarco blitzes on by like mere standing still.
Alex Rins is keeping the pressure on Fabio Quartararo.
All he can do, try and force the Frenchman into some kind of an error. At the moment, it's been picture perfect for Fabio.
Himself in prime positions from the word go.
But it is far too late for him to have any impact on this Grand Prix.
Someone's gone down.
Yes, there's been another crash, hasn't there?
It is. Valentino Rossi has crashed. What a shame for him, because he just hit some decent pace.
At the start of this Grand Prix, we had three sets of brothers involved, Marini and Rossi. In the battle, and that's the Marquez brothers, who at the moment are 9th and 10th.
Bagnaia closes on his
recent record, Steve. Now that's just 12 points scored in his last 9 races.
I think he'd be pleased to get out of here. Jerez is a circuit he adores, and let's hope that he Binder in 7th. Aleix Espargaro behind him. Marc Marquez, to his credit, at this stage of the race in 40s, not bad at all.
Yeah, Franco Morbidelli's getting a hurry up as well. That's when he's going to catch out the doctor. Tips it in.
That went incredibly early, didn't it?
Yeah. Track limits warning for Franco Morbidelli. So he's got to be pretty careful. Maverick Vinales only in the point scoring places right now, but 14th is not going to cut it if you want to win a world title in MotoGP.
And through he goes. Bagnaia up into 5th place now.
Luxury position is to make your passes on the brakes going into corners, which puts you in that really precarious zone when there's front to get over that crest and attack. It's just like we said, free time. You don't really have to put in much effort as long as you...
Then Quartararo from Alex Rins. Zarco in a bit of a lonely third now.
He's got some cracking pace right now. Resistance of the world champion, 39.7 on that last circuit for Johann Zarco. 10th of Marquez has just crossed the line to a 40 flat, which when you consider his physical condition and the length of time he's been out, 18 long days since Marc Marquez actually saw a checkered flag in the MotoGP World Championship when he was victorious and accomplished. He'll want to get a real good test on where he's at with that recovering right arm over the full race distance.
For months and months and months, people have been wondering how he'd come back. Look at these times from the two guys at 39.471 from Alex Rins. Almost identical times.
Rins is, at the moment, those cracks not appearing at all. Rock solid, isn't he, Quartararo? Every time Rins looks like he's going to exert that pressure to try and show Quartararo a front wheel. There was 1/1000th of a second between the pair of them.
Next in Qatar, 4th 2 weeks ago. He's going up in increments of 2 at the moment because he's not buckling under the pressure.
Yeah, and he's been asked some massive questions here. At the weekend, the Yamaha M1 just gets that rear tyre hooked up and he can carry lots of corner speed, which is the way he's able to pull those 5 or 6 bike lengths on Alex Rins, which just makes sure that Rins can't get close enough.
Rins.
If Alex Rins finishes in this race second tonight, Steve, he will be able to get on the day. You're just beaten by the marginally better man at the moment. Fabio Quartararo is in that position.
Because Bagnaia, someone's gone down. Bagnaia goes up a place. Who's crashed out? Who's crashed out?
He makes blunders at the worst possible time. Well, we said it was him that was putting pressure on Fabio Quartararo, on Alex Rins. And it's Rins who's caved into that pressure.
It's such an awkward corner to get right.
That mistake. He's done everything, and he can't find a way through, even to show Quartararo's front wheel. Cast your minds back to Austria last year. He just slipped up the inside of Andrea Dovizioso and crashed out immediately. And what very comfortable Sunday afternoon stroll in the sunshine to back-to-back wins here in Portugal.
Yeah, no surprise to see. He moved past Mir. He's now hunting down Zarco, and he's got much better pace as Pecco Bagnaia. This has been a fine run. Could have been done from pole position.
He's definitely going to be contemplating what might have been, isn't he? In terms of the championship lead, it might get a little bit worse for him as well, because he's going to have his hands full trying to keep Bagnaia at bay, and he can't do it. Bagnaia clean as a whistle, and Bagnaia now up into second place, and that does change the championship picture slightly.
Yeah, man, the only Suzuki man left in this race, the world champion Mir. He's in 4th. This is the battle for second then. Mir is now down and out of the race.
Rins blows a podium. Zarco blows a podium. He certainly blows the Fabio Quartararo. Championship rivals biting the dust. Quartararo checked out a long touch going into the Spanish Grand Prix in Jerez last year, where what happened? He dominated both races from pole. No, Jorge Martin after his high-speed spill yesterday, and that front went really quickly, didn't it, from underneath Johann Zarco.
Never so easy to be distracted.
That went so quick on Zarco. He wasn't expecting that, was it? It was almost like a...
Crashes up ahead of him. Marc Marquez is now in 7th behind him. Alex Marquez is 8th. Nakagami is what to say about Alex Rins. I agree with you, Matt. It's happened all too often. But two big men in this race have...
A bit of deja vu, isn't it, for this man, Alex Rins? You've got to give it so much credit to Fabio, Shinichi Sahara and Ken Kawachi, leading management down at Suzuki. They cannot believe it, can they? And he's potentially 25 have gone begging here in the Portuguese Grand Prix, and he is absolutely inconsolable.
Ashton remounted as well. Survival of the fittest here in Portugal.
It's all this but what front row. he may well have been right at the sharp end of this race as well, with the likes of Quartararo and Rins, before Rins has put daylight now between himself and Joan Mir, almost half a second. Mir in turns got a second, then back to from in Qatar.
He's closing on Joan Mir. It's not over yet for him. Brad Binder's still doing an outstanding job on the KTM.
He's in Qatar. It's got even bigger here this weekend. He's digging himself out of some monumental holes, isn't he, Binder? Fifth place.
The perfect start to the year in Qatar, unfortunately, comes down now from the helicopter view. Was he offline at all? The front end was just moving around a touch. Wasn't quite.
For Catty, well, as we mentioned, it's been a very punishing weekend for Pramac here in Portugal.
Here, Bastianini again. He does this so often. I say so often. It's only his third Grand Prix, but he comes on. Army Vinales is 11th, Luca Marini 12th, and then it's Petrucci, Savadori, and Lecco.
His pain threshold off the scale.
Morbidelli can definitely smell a podium. Yamaha rider, this would be the perfect remedy to a grim start.
In the flag. They perhaps feel like Franco Morbidelli's holding in on a podium here as well.
Able to wrestle a podium place away from the world champion, Joan Mir.
South American roots, of course, for the pack from 11th on the grid. Now, how much has that cost Pecco Bagnaia rear tyre life right as well? And I would not want to be trying to race the Suzuki and a Yamaha, Steve, through that final sector. You're not going to latch on to the back of Bagnaia over the crest and then line up a move on the brakes down the hill.
He's been very unlucky, hasn't he, so the Grand Prix of Doha. He's found himself in a position on the grid today which I think
Mir and Morbidelli behind him.
Crossed the line. Yeah, Morbidelli's the faster man. Brad Binder. Now, if Binder catches this group, it's too late, surely. You could just see him in the background. That's an extra 50% from somewhere, because his pace in this race is about a second quicker.
Drive by Aleix Espargaro on course for Aprilia's only their top six in their MotoGP.
What can you say about the man out front at the moment as well, Fabio Quartararo? This is a very different young man.
Different proposition to find a way through.
Who's that? Who is that on the left there? This is the battle for second between almost four riders.
Digging deep himself here is Bagnaia, desperate to cling on to that podium. Let's check, he's been untouchable today. Topped FP3, topped FP4, took pole position. Mir, a 10th just over behind Pecco Bagnaia. Franco Morbidelli desperately trying.
And Morbidelli. Quartararo's live heart rate just came on screen.
Shot up to 661 beats for things. I thought it was coming up F Quartararo. Grad.
Yeah, same. Absolutely the same. Threw Alex Rins into a crash. Quartararo is well and truly fired up in 2020.
On the Italian, you've got to give an enormous amount of credit to Pecco Bagnaia, because he really has.
He's getting close. Does he fancy a lunge here, the world champion Joan Mir, or is he going to hold on to the first podium of the year?
The only place end that second place. Franco Morbidelli, unfortunately, looks like he's just going to miss out on the podium, but
Walter being made ready. Mir is going to try everything, but ultimately it's the power of the Ducati that will elude him. Here, an excellent ride from Morbidelli. Binder as well in 5th. Aleix Espargaro 6th, and the returning Marc ahead of his younger brother Alex, with Bastianini finishing in 9th, and this is a scrap here. Nice.
Well, as we said, El Diablo in dreamland. That was pure class ahead of the field. Back-to-back wins for the second time in his MotoGP career, and he sees his confidence. And Johann Zarco, great ride that by Pecco Bagnaia. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant performance coming over the hill, wasn't it, into turn 11 for Jorge Navarro. Thankfully, there's not a lot of breeze around.
So far in the battles between Lowe's and Gardner, first round, you could argue that Sam Lowe's was already too far up the road when Remy managed to get himself into second.
This time in Doha, he tried everything he could, but it wasn't worth taking the extra risk for just, what, 5 more points in the championship. He was thinking bigger. Tissot watch collection now, isn't he, for 3 successive pole positions. Remy Gardner is only 10 points behind in the championship.
Yeah, and if you're in second to Sam, and you know that you're going to be risking too much to crash, then
report them out. Will they be the top 2 in about 40 minutes time? Well, we can't wait to find out.
Row as well. Keep an eye out for Ayaguru. An outstanding job for the rookie to be 4th on the grid. There's Marco Bezzecchi. He's coming up for the intermediate class here. We're racing in Portugal. A really good start from Remy. Bezzecchi takes the lead. Lowe's is high-sided out. Sam Lowe's, the world champion championship leader has high-sided up.
Worst possible way. He fluffed the start and then he was a little bit wide. Thankfully, he's back on his feet, but a monster.
Did not see that coming at all. And it was from the
State's favourite, the big pre-race favourite, down and out, barely 10 seconds into the Grand Prix.
There's Tony Arbolino. It starts well on the Italtrans blue machine, number 16. He's up to 4th.
Yeah, he's already gained 4 places on this opening lap as Joe Roberts. Out of this Grand Prix, big disaster for the Brit. There'll be no third successive win from the third successive pole for the 30-year-old.
Oh, what a chance this is now. Oh, Marco Bezzecchi had a big moment there on the exit of turn 15 for the American.
Tight there, wasn't it, between Gardner and Bezzecchi as well through that first corner. Roberts then up into third. Raul can't make it stick on Augusto.
It's Gardner from Bezzecchi from Roberts, who's up 5 places.
That for the Americans. Roberts 8th to 3rd. Cambobier as well has picked up a couple of places. He's right on the brink of the top 10 as well. You're right about the 2 intact Liquid Moly boys. Marcel Schrotter and Tony Arbolino had lightning starts. Lowe's didn't get the great start.
He was going to run straight into the back of Remy Gardner and he had to go wide. Watch this on the approach to turn 1.
Wallop as well here from the bike as well. Oh, dearie mate. Yeah, look at that.
Ow.
Leg as well, trapped underneath the back of Remy Gardner. Can you imagine the 2 big hitters in this World Championship on the floor at the first corner? It was very, very close. Gardner will have no idea.
Through on the slipstream, the man on the move. Further back is Raul Fernandez, the fastest lap of the race on lap 2.
With him as well. Best we've seen from Augusto Fernandez for quite some time.
Cameron Bobier is now up into 9th place. He's moved ahead of Sumber. At the moment, it's not all plain sailing. He's managed to get back through on Marco Bezzecchi. Joe Roberts' front end there. He did well to stay.
Cannot get anything going at all on that Boscoscura frame. Big crash in qualifying yesterday. And he's more turn 5 has caught out the Spaniard today.
Wonderful helicopter shots here of the Moto2 fields. Wow. Back at the front, it's Remy Gardner who has the lead with a train of bikes behind. There is Antonio, and Gartho is in 15th.
So it's going to be Remy Gardner that leads at the start of lap 4.
Remy Gardner
out of the seat. Big scare.
Big scare, and now he's side by side with Roberts as well.
Yeah, they're swapping a bit of one. That's a move he's made on the Aussie now a couple of times.
So Remy Gardner then drops to 2nd place. Raul Fernandez is up.
Question is, how long will Kinnett's Dunlop front tyre hang in there? It's been front tyre issues, and particularly stability on brakes going into...
9 riders here that could still feature here at the sharp end, fighting for victory, but Marco Bezzecchi back to his best so far.
Yeah, he had an aggressive first lap, didn't he, Fernandez? Clawed his way back through from 10th on the grid, headed that 4th row, and now right in by the American. Fantastic job here. He's got himself onto the back of that lead group as well.
Yeah, excellent from both. Bezzecchi it is that still leads. Here comes Sam with twin brother Alex into the garage.
Yeah, now then the top 3 are just putting a little bit of a gap between themselves. It's getting very feisty, isn't it, between Vieira and Kinnett? So wasn't he over the hill through 4?
Who's gone? Oh, goodness me, what's happened here? Well, it's Chantra and Agura. Is it the teammates that have come together?
It looks like there's been a fire down there, doesn't it? Montella, Agura was 9th, Chantra was 10th.
Meanwhile, out.
Didn't he on the gas? That was close there between Kinnett and Gardner. I wonder if it was perhaps just the camera angle being a little bit deceiving there, but it was pretty one.
That's where the fire was. Maybe the incident with the Idemitsu Honda Team Asia riders is completely separate. It is a bit scrappy, a bit messy out there.
Yeah,
Bezzecchi, though,
he's
doing a fantastic job.
Gardner, Kinnett and Fernandez engaged yet again. This is all that Bezzecchi needs. He's going to be able to keep putting clear down.
You can see that Marco Bezzecchi is starting to pull away out front. He's got a box clever here, though, Matt.
Yes. He'll be getting sick of 2nd place, though, won't he, Remy Gardner? He spent a lot of time following Sam Lowe's.
Kinnett looks at a move on Joe Roberts. Further back, just a quick shout to on circuit. Now, if he finishes there, that would be some job.
Yeah, apparently, looking at some of our colleagues in the media, as Kinnett gets up, Valentino Rossi, the media, trying to do their Zoom debrief with him right now, but they're struggling to keep his attention while this man Bezzecchi leads this motor.
Right at the races, but he is now. The lights have gone out, and Bezzecchi flying.
His problem has been just here, a bit further down the field. Manzi and Montella.
Oh, it's a massive high side at 15.
Stefano Manzi just had nowhere to go. He's got lightning quick reaction times, Manzi, but just nothing he could do to take evasive action.
On Joe Roberts.
Yeah,
Here's Iagura.
What happened to the Honda Team Asia pairing? Because Chance has rejoined the race, but they were running inside the top 10.
Knew nothing about it. Contact between Agura and Bobier, and going downhill into turn 5, which is awkward as it is.
Yeah. After that, Iagura not able to capitalise on an outstanding qualifying in 4th place. So already in this Moto2 group, like he's relatively unscathed. Big crashes then for Montella and Manzi right here through 15, and a big crash for the Honda Team Asia boys as well.
Bezzecchi's lead across the line was 1 second, cut slightly by Remy Gardner that last time round. We'll keep track of.
You can't say bad 4th places. Whenever it's 4th place, bad in the Grand Prix, but not what he was anticipating. This would be 4, including 4th place in the last 3 Grand Prix. So he'd love a return to the podium to really fire some serious.
Raul Fernandez, then it's Augusto Fernandez. Vieje's now 7th. Here's Iagura. He's going over to well. He's crashed out.
He wasn't troubling the point scoring places, Bo Benschneider. And after a brilliant start to the season in Qatar, 5 is having a few victims in this Moto2 battle.
Canet looks like he's got the speed to get through.
Fernandez behind him was also matching his pace, but when you look at Canet's pace, he was 6/10 quicker than Bezzecchi.
To Jake Dixon, who's now in 8th ahead of Bobier. Schrotter is up to 10th. That's a good job from him. Then it's Arena.
Yeah. That's a great ride by Jake Dixon on his first visit to Portimao, particularly as well given the lack of strength in that
riding end of some aggressive moves from Canet and Vieje. But it looks like he has just regrouped there. Almost half a second.
We've got by far the better pace. They're in the 43s. Everybody else behind them can't get into the 43s at all. Dixon.
You'd have told Remy Gardner he was going to have to work for the race today. He would have agreed with you, but I think Bezzecchi has these guys. And
Brilliant
so many
job.
of them.
Fantastic job so far by Aaron Canet. He's not had great confidence. He surged his way through the pack, 9th to 2nd, and he's within a second now as well of your race leader Bezzecchi.
He's up into 4th place. Got some excellent drive out of the last corner just then, did Roberts?
Yeah, in both of the Qatar AO3. Don't think he got a helping hand out to the marbles, did he? I think he just made a mistake.
Maybe he hit a neutral or something.
Turn 5. Canet, though, now has immediately closed that gap down to Bezzecchi.
There is Remy Gardner then, just up ahead of Raul Fernandez. I'm sure we'll get a replay.
An impressive rookie season last year in Moto2, so if he keeps this going, his first podium may well be from the top step.
Argue. Bezzecchi then hitting rear tyre trouble, I think.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of wheel spin, isn't he? That was the problem in both Qatar races, as we mentioned. Open.
Down onto the start-finish straight we go. On board with Bezzecchi, but you've got to keep an eye out for Joe Roberts as well. He gets great drive onto the back through the block, pass into turn 1, and look who comes through to take them both.
Oh.
Excellent from Joe Roberts. 2
for the price of 1. Canet's so sadly lacking for him in both Qatar races. Well, it's back, and he's back with a vengeance.
This is a great race. Canet then challenged on exit as well.
Canet, Roberts and Bezzecchi engaging. That's dragged Gardner and Fernandez right back in 0.6 seconds.
There are 3 men in the top 5 that have never had a Moto2 victory. 2 of them are right in front of
Qatar. This is quite worrying signs here for the Italian. Led for, what, the first 8 or 9 laps, but
it's Fernandez up the inside of Bezzecchi now.
More Moto3 than Moto2, isn't it?
And Augusto Fernandez and Xavi Vieje.
That rear tyre at all. Every time he asks for the power, he's trying to kick him sideways.
Across the line, almost at halfway 6.
Bezzecchi has a lunge up the inside of Fernandez into the first corner, and he managed to pull it up on the brake.
It's Nicolo Bulega and Celestino Vietti that have come together, and we've got another fight.
Bulega and Vietti, well, they'll be well known to each other, former colleagues in the VR46 Academy.
Well, it's all happening at the moment, isn't it? Sam Lowe's went down, turned into the favourite to win this race, but he's in an intense battle with 6 banner for the first time in a long time.
That's the 3rd multiple rider incident in this race. There's 3 top 10s in the last 11 races. That was Fernandez, wasn't it? Running in hot, going into turn 3, and Vieje
further back. Fernandez on Fernandez.
Oh. Yeah, that was nearly friendly fire between F and F, wasn't it? To go, isn't there? 10 laps to go here. 13 chalked off. So far, so good for Joe Roberts. The twitches himself on that Dunlop rear tyre. Bezzecchi in 4th. Fernandez after his mistake
Aaron Canet, Valencian born. It's an American, though, that leads Malibu's Joe Roberts. And that's backwards, but it looks like he's settled into this race again now, the Italian. We're on board with him. Side Xavi Vierge and goes through into 5th place in turn 1.
They rubbed. There was elbow to elbow there between...
Well, he can dish it out himself, can Xavi Vierge, that's for sure. One of the more aggressive riders.
And there's still a long, long way to go for them to manage that grit, that fading grit.
As well, from a personal perspective, could do with the victory. Confidence-wise, it would do him so much good. There's been many people thinking, gosh, Joe, did you make an error? And he remained convinced that
he last time out in Qatar was to finish this race, get some experience. Turn 8, though, unfortunately, has caught out Dixon. Aggravation to that serious right wrist injury he suffered in a practice crash in Le Mans. So Petronas
so late on the brakes into turn 1, no room at the inn. Again though, Canet, he must be getting a track limits warning.
Stay there in that 2nd place, keep himself on tabs with Joe Roberts ahead of him. He's having the bigger moments out of all of this group in the...
There's Bezzecchi, number 72, up ahead of Raul Fernandez, Vierge and Augusto Fernandez.
Gardner was out well wide there as they started to climb up turn 4. And in fact, look at that, he's lost 2 places. He's on the big...
It's a race that Remy Gardner, of course, if he stays on the machine, will most likely take a championship lead into Jerez.
Yeah.
But it's the 2nd time he's gone straight on. You wonder, don't you, if there's maybe an issue with the gear shifter or something?
Problem with the shifter, yeah, because Vierge out to the curve.
We have 7 laps to go. There's maybe some sort of issue for Remy Gardner. He had the pace to be able, then he's gone, oh, that's Raul Fernandez now going straight on.
Do you know, it's a survival of the fittest in terms of who can keep the traction the best. I mean, at the moment, it's quite incredible that they're able to still...
In changing and overtaking everywhere. You go offline, it ruins the rhythm for the next corner. You can lose so much time.
Don't think I've ever seen in a league.
The interest there from Aspar rider behind him, Aaron Canet.
Lovely shot there as they came over turn 11.
When was the last time Speed Up had a victory? Or Boscoscuro, as it's so apt. Chassis in general for Luca Boscoscuro himself.
I reckon it'd have to be Catalunya 2018, which he's made quite a decent fist of over the last 2 or 3 years, to be fair to him.
These two, Matt, are starting to break away.
They are.
6 laps to go, to be a bit careful now.
Yeah, because he's right on a knife edge, isn't he? We've seen him make quite a few mistakes yet again.
All wide there is Joe Robertson now. They're side by side. Aaron Canet will have the inside line though. Ahead of Joe Roberts. Now Joe is going to be all in here. On the top step in Grand Prix motorcycle racing. He'll throw everything at this, but Canet looks very strong. He's got
how good he is at managing that rear tyre. Given his lack of experience, this is brilliant by Fernandez. He's streaking away.
Gartho in 8th, Bobier 9th, Schrotter 10th. The Gian Antonio's 11th ahead of Dalla Porta.
Just look there as he got...
Joe Roberts' rear was spinning up a bit there as well around turn 15. Has he got anything left? Canet across the line. Brilliant. Raul
Get a first-time winner in Moto2. Roberts is out wide and Fernandez just says thank you very much. Nicks that 2nd place from the American. Yeah, Gardner's taken 4th spot from Bezzecchi. So Bezzecchi going the wrong way yet again. Door was wide open. Raul Fernandez says thank you very much. I'll have that.
Everyone's struggling at different stages, aren't they, in the race?
Got him. Fernandez has jumped straight on the back of Canet. Couple 3.008 that Steve mentioned, fastest lap of the race. He was 7/10 faster than Roberts on that last lap, almost half a second quick Moto3 in Portimao. And it looks like he's showing as he can do it in Moto2 in Portimao as well. He's got time.
It's Valencia versus Madrid here. Here comes number 25, Raul Fernandez, to take the lead of the Grand Prix with 4.
3/10 quicker on that last lap than Canet. He was 3/10 quicker as well than Joe Roberts, Bezzecchi and Vierge. Is it all coming too late though for the Aussies to get back into this battle for the podium?
Further back, Augusto Fernandez has gone through. He's up into 5th now ahead of Bezzecchi and Vierge, who's fading a little.
Yes, really sensational. He looks like he might have timed this charge through the pack to perfection. Straight away, he's gapping Canet and take risk and potentially lose a podium this late on.
Akiaiho, where does he find these gems from?
It's an endless production line of talent, isn't it? Through the Red Bull KTM system. Probably not too much longer in the future. Pretty mouth-watering prospect for us.
3 to go. Does anyone have an answer for Raul Fernandez?
Yeah, Australian. Excellent pace at this stage of the race. Just a tenth quicker though than Fernandez, the race leader. And at the moment,
Standing on the top step here today. But this isn't over yet. This is not over. 3 still to go. There's
his heel so far this year in 2021. He's not been able to shake off those rear grip problems here in Portugal from the 2 we're looking at now. It really has started to stretch out, hasn't it, in this lead pack?
And Gardner is just
half a second. How much risk will Connect dare to take, knowing that he's at the moment, he hasn't got the pace at the moment?
Look at these shots at turn 8. Raul Fernandez, that's a rookie. Just set an unbelievable lap, a 42.864, the only rider that's got into the 42.
Got his head down, he's pulled the pin, and Raul Fernandez is just breaking away here, taking time, hand over fist out, charge as well. But a 42.864 on a 21 lap old rear tyre in the hottest condition.
Trying to salvage a podium. He will more than likely be the World Championship leader heading into Jerez.
He's got by far the best. Actually too late to fight for back-to-back wins here in Portimao, but he'll desperately want that podium to really punish Sam.
Jerez as it stands. Raul Fernandez with the win would be a point behind him.
Well, the DNF for Sam Lowe's yet going to round, commanding and convincing lead as he heads to start the final lap of this Portuguese Moto2 Grand Prix. It's his race to lose. Another PB lap, that's 3 on the trot. He's now in the 42s. Major pressure coming the way of Canet and Roberts.
This young man himself is interested because he feels like he could get second, but Gardner's on top of them both.
Canet's a diddy little fella, but he's trying to...
One of these 3 guys are going to be very disappointed.
Just in a little bit hot. Canet was abusing that front tyre down the hill.
Remy Gardner, he's going to lunge somewhere.
It's so one line here, Steve, so hard to overtake. You've got to feel like he's going to be turned 13.
Beautifully done.
Lovely.
And that's going to give Remy Gardner now a chance to get on top of things as well. He's now up towards Canet.
Can Canet retaliate? Roberts wide. Gardner's got both of them, I think.
Roberts here, he's going to lose out, but he's now got the inside line back again. Remy Gardner comes to fight back.
First victory, Moto2. Canet's got second. Gardner will seize third right at the end.
Great win for Raul and Joe Roberts. Roberts might not like that. We'll have a look at it again in a moment. What a rider, though, Akiayo has here.
As you'd expect he would do for the podium on the last lap, but what a ride by this young man. What a performance he started back in 2010. He gets the congratulations of his namesake, Augusto Fernandez. His late charge, eventful last lap. He takes his first podium in Moto2 as well. And Remy Gardner, aggressive up the inside, out on the very first lap.
Good job then from Aaron Canet. Good to see him back on a podium. It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have been disappointed if Remy Gardner had not have gone for it with a podium mistake on the last lap, I'm sure, if it was Rolls second.
Roberts up the inside of Aaron Canet. Really nice move, but then Canet immediately biked a bit of a gap. Racing into them probably, Matt, yes.